Hey everybody, we're gonna feed some beans. We might go through some beans too. We may reset a couple. I don't know yet. These are the February beans here, two of them. Just gonna go through and feed them. I know they need to be fed. They haven't been fed in a while, so we're gonna give them a little something to eat real quick. Check them out. See how everybody's doing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, they got plenty to eat, didn't they? Anyway, this is corn husk and um, green beans, I believe is what it is. It was in the blender. It was just what was made up the other day, and I had it left, and I figured we'd feed it to them. All right, well, that's one feeding out of the way. Like I said, this is a February the 11th, 207 ounces of, 2.7 ounces of worms in here. So, yeah. I guess we can just do that. Here's February 24th bin. Is that gonna fit in there? No, it's not. Always shuffling. Always shuffling around in here. February 24th bin is what's cool is when I feed them, I dig it down, put the food in, I throw the bedding back on top. When I come back, I can usually tell how much they've eaten, if they're done or whatever. It's a depression in there, probably a half-inch deep, all the way around right there. It's right there to right there to right there to right here. So it's just they took it out and worked it. So let's see what we got. Yeah. Bunch of babies. Got a bunch of babies in here. They're doing their job. Yeah. This corn husk stuff here, I don't know. I don't know. It's real fibrous kind of. They'll get it. Yeah, they'll get it. I was just trying to clean it up and get it used up and out of the way. So. Everybody's always asking about my worms. What kind of worms are they? Like I said before, I have no idea what they are, or I know what I paid for. But if you look at the color of that one, right there, I mean that's like a blood purple, and they're all like that. I mean that's how they start. Once you get into 3-4-year-olds, they just get big and lighter in color, and they get old. But anyway, I haven't bought any more worms, and like I said, they just they're a mix of blues and reds together, which is probably what I got because the person I bought them from is one of those sellers that sell you, what they got, I guess. And I mean, it's no big thing. I mean, I'm not gonna beat myself up about it or beat anybody up about it. They're composting suckers, so the more I'm looking looking it up and everything and studying on it, it seems like a diverse community of worms actually works better. So, that's the thing. Everybody wants to trip out over, oh, you got blues and red. Well, yeah. But guess what? I feel like they're doing awesome. So I don't sweat the little details on what kind of worms they are. And I know most people are getting in to the worm thing, and that's the first question they ask is, what kind of worms you got, you know. But I'm thinking about doing some African night crawlers or some European night crawlers. Yeah, I'm thinking about doing that. I was watching Toba's Worm Playground today. He had to throw the video up of his night crawlers, and them suckers are huge, and he had like over a half a pound with just 100 of them. I was impressed with that. He's about to make me, I guess, get into that. I don't know. I can set up a couple bins, or at least one, and we'll go from there and figure out if we can keep them separated. I don't know. We'll see about that. But that's two fed, and I guess we'll let's see. What y'all want to do? You want to feed these other men, or you want to pull them down? Let's see what they're looking like. January the 15th, man. It's looking clumpy. Yeah. It's definitely looking clumpy. But I don't know. I almost feel like that bin right there could run a little bit longer. Let's look and see what looks down here in the bottom. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I think it can run. Oh, come here. I mean, everybody seems pretty happy in here. Not bad, loaded full of cocoons though. But I think it can go a little bit longer. So, yeah. We ain't gonna feed them much. Usually what I do is before I get ready to pull one down, I don't feed it. I let them forage for what's left in the bin so they can try to help finish off the castings as close as we can get them down to at least, you know, like I said, 75% or so. So that my castings, you know, I don't have to wait on the babies to try to finish it, you know, growing them up in it. So there's some babies there. Couple. So yeah, we'll give her a bite, just a skosh, not a lot. Like I said, I'm probably gonna pull this thing down in the next couple of weeks. So, you know, like I said, the bedding is food, and the castings are food. They will eat their castings. They'll run their own castings around about at least twice. So, anyway, there we go. We'll give them that a little bit. So nobody says I'm starving my worms. So, hey, we got a whole lot of more subscribers on. Welcome. And welcome back everybody that usually likes to come back and listen to me ramble. Just feeding some bins, and I don't know, I'm thinking about pulling a couple bins down. This was one that was in question. See, it's starting to ball a little bit, but it ain't bad. I can live with it. If you can, I can. So, yeah. Anyway, we'll let it run. Like I said, it ain't gonna hurt them none. Yeah, that's a January bin there. This one looks about like that one. Maybe a little worse. Yeah. Guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna feed this one too, just a little bit. I'm gonna set this one and that one together, and probably feed them. Clean them both out at the same time. It just ain't gonna be. It just ain't gonna be this time. Yeah, this won't be this time. It'll be next time. So get on out of here. They're gonna housefly. Then got in. Yeah, it went from winter to spring to winter to summer. It's 80 some degrees today. So yeah, I love it. It'll make them start jumping now. That's one thing the temps will do. It'll make them start jumping. I just gotta watch my bins that don't have lids and make sure we keep them wet. Don't let them dry out. And my big bins I don't mess with much either, so that's where they fall into the danger zone. So yeah, it'll be alright. Alright, let's see if we're gonna pull any of these other ones down. I thought I was gonna harvest some castings today. Now this one here definitely looks like it could go. Oh yeah, pretty much solid all the way down. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I say we clean this one. That's what I think we ought to do. Because all of that's finished right there. Every bit of it. Yeah, I say we take this one and pull it down. So, I'm going to throw you on pause for a second because I got to move 3 bins and get my casting bucket over here so I can pull the castings out, throw it in it, get set up for a reset. So I'm gonna throw you on pause. Hey, look, while you're waiting, you can always go on and bang that subscribe button if you hadn't subscribed. You can throw up a thumbs up for us, and you can throw in a comment already if you want to. This is gonna be a rather long video. Somebody said something about they like the long videos, but you're gonna get one today. So I probably will speed up part of this bin cleaning activity though. I ain't gonna drag you all the way down the road with that. But yeah, we got this cleaned, and that's a new bin. We got some new bins to feed. All the resets that we did, they need to be fed anyway. So let me throw you on pause, and like I said, take your time, and while you're doing it, while I'm doing it, and bang that subscribe button for us. Alright, we got everything relocated and moved around here, so let's do this real quick. Oh, house flies, boy, they here. You don't want to bother me today. So yeah, welcome to all the new subscribers. You'll learn I suck with names, so until I learn your name, I can't tell you hello. So I think I did see a guy named Ken has subscribed the other day. A couple of others. There was a Thomas. I'll start writing them down for y'all. How about that? Won't leave nobody out. If you're a new subscriber, hey, comment and let me know, because one thing YouTube doesn't do is they don't tell me every subscriber. I've noticed that. I'll get 7 subscribers and I may get 3 notifications. So that's just how YouTube does you. So anyway, but so I was on one of my worm pages the other day, and somebody was asking about moldy food again. Now, if you've watched some of the videos on here already, then you know that I take my food and pre-compost it in a bucket over here and let it get moldy. So we're going to go across the part about the microbiology part here, that worms don't have teeth. Their mouth is so small. I think somebody had a video. I don't want to misquote who it was, so I'm not even going to say. They had a video of a worm under a microscope, and you had to have a microscope with a circle around the mouth and an arrow to tell you what the mouth was. So that's how small a mouth on a worm is. So the food part is, yes, they eat it, but no, they don't. They eat the microorganisms that are eating the food and the bacteria and the microbiology that's going on with the whole entire thing. So that's why the food being pre-rotted, is what I call it, really helps out. It gives it a jump. So that's just a little step I do, try to make it easier on them to try to get them fed faster and easier, so that I'm making better castings, faster castings, and that, I don't know, I would say that, you know, if I didn't have any teeth, that was going to happen one day, I'm going to probably need my food blended up too, so, you know, that's kind of the way I look at it, so. And this thing's loaded with babies. I mean, this is crazy. They are just everywhere. And that's really cool. So we're going to take these, and like I said before, and we'll chuck them in this bucket. This bucket's getting about too heavy to pick up and haul around anyway. So it's about time to dump it into the nursery bin. And hatchery / nursery bin. And so, yeah, but all the new wormies. The only advice I could give to a new person is don't get overwhelmed. Don't get misled by somebody else that's on a page or on a channel. Do your due diligence and do your research. Go around and look at everybody. Don't look at one person. Don't take what, hey, where you going? What I tell you as the written Bible. You know what I'm saying? I'm just an old man rambling at worms. That's all I'm doing. But yeah, just go around and you know, and find the best information you can and twist it all together. Like I said before, that's how I made my moonshine recipe. I went around and looked at a bunch of other moonshine recipes. I wrote them all down. I went down to the kitchen and I started pouring stuff in a pot. And I started tasting it, trying to see what I liked, see what was different, see what was better, see how I liked it, see how I wanted to do it, you see. Put my twist on it. And whatever you do, don't get discouraged. I've seen a lot of people screw around and kill their worms, right? Well, guess what? We've all done that. If you haven't killed your worms, and you ain't been in it long enough. So, yeah, just don't freak out. If you kill them, more than likely they left you enough cocoons to reproduce a whole nother colony. In the process of that colony reproducing, I do suggest that if you did kill all your worms, to go and get on the internet, get on YouTube, track down some channels, start doing some investigating, figure out why or how you killed your worms, and then just go from there and start over and try it again. Try. You know, you learn. Everybody learns from their mistakes. So, you know, nobody's perfect. We can only strive to be perfect. So, and do our best. So that's all we can do. And don't panic. No panicking. Don't stress. This is supposed to be fun, relaxing, therapeutic. That's what this is. Sit down, relax, do your thing. Yep. And that's what we're trying to do here. Is just relax and have a good old time. So yeah. And like I said, if you got any questions, that's one thing I have learned about the Mormon community. Everybody on here, they're really nice and really helpful. Nobody is dogging anybody out, you know, and looking down on anybody. Everybody that's in it, it's like me. They've done it. They've done the same mistakes that you're gonna ask about. So don't be ashamed to ask. You know, yeah, we've all at some point in time more than likely butchered a batch of worms. So you know. So like I said, just don't be scared. Don't be stressed. Um, have a good time. Relax. Enjoy it. That's all you can do. Everything else is too stressful as it is, okay? You go to the grocery store, it's stressful. You go to work, it's stressful. You go, you know, I don't care where you go these days in this world, it's stressful, okay? So, the one thing you should be able to do is find you some stuff that ain't stressful, like this right here. Just sit down, chill, and play with your babies. Talk to your babies. Count your babies. Relocate your babies. Give them a new, fresh bedding and get you some good castings out and get the castings ready or get your cocoons ready and get your hatchlings out or process it like I do. I process mine. This batch of castings will go in a bucket and go in a bin and I'll pull it out and go through it and dig them out and pick them out like I'm doing here kind of. But it's a whole lot faster though. I go in and just basically turn it, flip it, bang, pick out the ones I can see, throw them in a bin, and call it good. But, you know, and then I've got what's left. Eventually I'll say that that's finished, and that'll be what I'll put into a bin. I mean, in my storage bin or my garden, it just depends. And so, yeah, we'll see. We're fixing to get into big populace. That groove right there, that's a hot spot right there, that groove. Along the edges here. They like the edges. So, well, yeah, like I said, just chill, relax. Don't get stressed. Don't be one of those people either, though, after you've gotten into it. I've been on a couple of pages, and there were people that were, really getting down and telling everybody this and telling everybody that and acting like they were, I don't know, professionals. And then somebody asked the question, how long have you been worm farming? And, there's people come out and, I've been doing it 6 months and I've been doing it a year. And I'm like, oh, wow. The way you were talking earlier is you act like you've been doing it 20 years, So, yeah. All right, I had to go see where my wife was at real quick. She'll be on the way home here in a little bit. And had to see where she was at, how long she's gonna be. Because the dogs are gonna go crazy when she comes home. And so, anyway. But yeah, like I said, just don't believe everything you see on the internet. You remember the commercial, right? You can't put anything that ain't true on the internet. There's a whole bunch of 12-year-old videos on the internet that talk about old stuff. People got on to somebody the other day about onions and garlic and this and that, and it was a whole bunch of them jumped in there on that chime about, you can't do that, you can't this, you can't that. And then it was, luckily it was some people who got on it, because I usually stay out of it. Yes, I stay out of it. But there was a couple people come on there and were like, yeah, you can. That's old school stuff. Yeah, if it'll rot and decay, they can eat it. So anyway, yeah, it was just nice to see some people that actually knew what was going on. So, yeah, you can do that. Alright, we're going to get into the big stuff here in a second, I believe. Bunch of maroon cocoons in here. And that's a good thing. Those puppies are fixing the hats. So, oh yeah, and listen, by the way, the video I shot the other day with the little models of, the, hatchlings coming out of cocoons. The cocoons are not that big for anybody that doesn't know. Don't be looking for that. Look for that, but itty bitty, okay? Yeah, don't do that. So, alright, let's dig down in here. The money hole. Now watch, my dogs, they won't make a peep when she comes home tonight because I need them to bark. When I don't want them to bark, they bark up a storm, but anyway, we'll try it. I can edit it out. I have the editor. If they come in here acting all stupid. So, well, yeah, like I said, do your research. Do your due diligence. Just because somebody says something, don't make it true. Always get a second opinion, because everybody's got their own way of doing it. So that's one thing that makes it so cool. That's one reason why I build rat rods. It's because if I need a part, I just make it. I don't have to go out and order it. Or I order something else that's totally whacked that ain't supposed to be used for something, whatever, and I use it for this or that, so definitely, it's what I like about this here. It's kind of like rat rod. Do it your way. Don't worry about what everybody else thinks either. See, that's the thing. When I go to a car show, I try to find the nicest, shiniest car there is and pull up beside it. This dude's been out there waxing on his car for 3 hours, getting ready for the show and the whole 9 yards, and I went over and jumped off a dead battery, cranked it up, drove it to the show, pulled up, got out, closed the door, slammed the door, rust falls off in the parking lot. And what's cool about it is that I'll be up there and, I don't know, when I pull up, it's like, hey, look at that, and everybody comes. And they try to get around his car to come to mine to look and see what I got, So, yeah, that's what's cool about it. So, just do your thing. Do it the way you want to do it. It ain't written in stone on how you got to do it. Just like this, I could sift it or whatever, but because I run my bins wet and my castings, that won't go through a sifter. And for me to get that to go through a sifter, I gotta mess with it for 2 weeks or a week or whatever to get it to dry out so to go through a sifter. And I just believe that's a lot of undue stress on the worms. Plus, I'm spending 2 weeks on stressing my worms out, which probably slows down their reproduction and the whole 9 yards. And so I don't like that. So I just sit down for a couple minutes and go through a bin or two. And I usually do 2 at a time. I haven't done 3 yet, but I could. I'm going to be able to once I build my table. I'm going to build a bigger table here. This table here is some sort of one of those cardboard desks that's not liking the weight of these bins, and we're fixing to add, I don't even know, 6 or 8 more bins. So that's not going to work out at all. So yeah, I'm gonna build a table out of 2x4 and a piece of plywood and get it sturdy enough to where I know that everybody's protected. I don't have to worry about coming in here one day and everything being on the ground. So, but yeah, I do this. I'm not in a big hurry, and I mean, I've got several bins. This does take some time, but hey, you know, it's time I need, I think. So, yeah. But like I said, always just enjoy it. Do not stress over it. And if you got a question, you can come on here on anywhere. I try to keep up on my comments or whatever. If anybody's got something they need an answer to, throw it up on here and I'll get to it. And if I don't know what the answer is, I'll ask somebody else, or I'll look it up and research it out and figure out what the closest answer is. But there's a lot of other people. Like I said, the worm community is an awesome community. So if I don't know something, somebody else can help you. One of these other guys will get on, or gals will get on here and help you out. So, you know. And everybody, I think everything has already been addressed. Probably 10 or 15 times, or maybe 2 or 3 times on the same channel. There has been issues that have been addressed and readdressed. And I do the same thing. And it's only because, you know, a new subscriber may not scroll all the way back to the very first video and all that. So I try to keep, I may repeat myself a little bit. My wife says I do it all the time. But, yeah, I just do it, try to make sure I keep that momentum of that information going, so that it doesn't get lost or forgotten about or skipped over or anything along that line. The important things are keeping them alive. Like I said before, and I'll say it again, the worst thing you can do is dry them out. The worst thing you can do is overheat them. These suckers will go through some cold. I've been in here where you can see your breath. It's 30-some degrees in here, and they're fine. They didn't die. Now, you get them hot and see what happens. They'll rot. They will do that. So, you know, that's 2 things I've learned. Is don't heat them up, and don't dry them out. They don't like dry. They'll take wet over dry any day. So, like I said, just enjoy it. It's not a job. Now, for the ones that are getting into the worming business, good luck with that. I've thought about it. I've run businesses. I run businesses now, still. But I could run a worm farm business, no problem. But I don't know. The way people are and the whole art of the shipping. I've never run a shipping business. I've always run a manual labor business, or, a service business, and I done a service for somebody and they paid me. But I've never run a business of where I shipped something to somebody and had to take their word on whether or not they got them, or whether or not they were alive, or I don't know, dealing with shipping companies and just everything. You can't even go to McDonald's and get a burger that you ordered anymore, and they're supposed to be paying them people $15 an hour. Well, my whole motto is, I don't care if you pay them $15 an hour or not. It didn't make them any smarter. So anyway, so I don't know. Like I said, I just don't know if I want to get into that. I just don't think I do. And that's the only reason why I'm not getting involved in it. I might do something local here, like my dad's talking about going down to the farmer's market here in town and selling some castings or something, and I'm okay with that. First thing is give him something to do. But second thing is, that'd be cool, if we could get a local thing going. That would be awesome. We got a couple of wineries around here, and I've always heard that wineries love the castings due to the fact that it supposedly makes the wine taste a taste, or gives it its flavor, or something along that line. And I could possibly do something local, but I don't know if I want to get into any kind of big scale, anything, shipping or anything like that. I just don't. But if you want to, hey, do it. If you want to and you think you can and you want to try it, do it. This is not a real expensive hobby here, okay? Now, if you get into bigger aspects, then yeah, you're going to shop it out. You're going to have to try to find you as much free food as you can, which if you go big, you know, you've left the kitchen scrap spectrum, and you've gone into calling the tree guys to bring over the ground up tree stumps and chips and dumping them, and you're processing them into compost, you know, over a year's time and things like that. Yeah, and then you got, you know, you get what? I mean, what, a couple 100 pounds of free bedding and food all mixed together, kind of. I mean, that kind of thing, you know, and you're going into maybe a large scale food scrap collection business. There's a guy, I can't remember his name. I used to watch his channel. I haven't seen anything from him lately, but he was going out collecting food scraps. He was taking a trash can to a restaurant, leaving it there, and asking them to put, you know, their salad waste or, you know, and everything, and they would dump it in that trash can, and he would show up with another trash can, and he would replace the trash can on a pickup day or whatever they had set up, and he was doing that, you know. And I'm over here at the local Dollar General trying to get some produce. They actually have a little produce section. I'm trying to set a deal up about going over there and picking up. Man, you want to see the cocoons right there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I only have my glasses on, but I'm trying to set up a deal to go over and get the castings out. I mean, the produce that they're, you know, throwing away, which is like little salad bags, and they do have a rack of bananas or whatever, and that would be really cool. But no, you got a bunch of crackheads jumping in the dumpsters at night and raiding the dumpsters and taking shopping carts full of food or whatever they're doing with it or whatever they're getting, and it has messed it up for me. So you know, I finally told the wife the other night. I was like, don't even worry about it. I'm tired of talking to somebody about it, and I don't want to get nobody in trouble that's working anywhere, and I don't want to get tangled up with, so I don't want to jump in a dumpster or something, be a crackhead sitting in there, probably won't turn out good. So yeah, I'm okay with it. I'll keep going like I'm going. I'll find me a different avenue. So anyway, but yeah, this is it's my little free time. Nobody's here except me and the dogs, and just picking up worms. Last run right there. Let's see what we got in the back row back here. I did drag you with me, didn't I? All the way. Unless y'all skip forward a little bit. Anyway. But yeah, that didn't take long. I don't think so. Well, there we go. I hear the husky barking. But until my two pits get to acting up, I'm not worried about mommy being home. He just likes to bark. He likes to hear himself talk. I reckon he's like me, I guess. Alright. Guess what? That's everything. Yep. That's everything. And I'm not real scientific with this. I don't usually weigh them. I have, but I usually don't get too picky, and I'm worried about it. Doesn't matter. Whatever this is going back in the bin. So I'm not going to weigh them tonight. I want to weigh them. I mean, we can weigh them. If you want to weigh them. I don't care. It's up to y'all. Anyway, but Let me scoop a little bit off the top here, I reckon. Okay. This thing's empty now. I want to flip over. I can't lean on it. Probably shouldn't be leaning on it anyway. Me and this table and this bin will probably be in the floor. Anyway, but we'll get out as much of this as we can, I reckon. And on my little collection buckets, they've all got a number on them. Like that's a .50. That's I just subtracted because I don't have another one just like this one to do the tear. And I didn't tear it before I started filling it because I never know which one I'm gonna grab. So I just write the weight on the bins. Like that's a .75. That's a .50. I just subtract it from the total weight once I weigh it. And then I don't have to worry about doing the tear and trying to find. It's whatever you can make into a worm bin or a can or container to catch, or it's crazy. So anyway, and so yeah, that's just how I do it. I just weigh the container and I put the weight of the container down, and then I can just do the math and subtract it. In there somewhere. Alright, let's see, where's my trusty old paint brushes at? Everybody's jumping around now, ain't they? Looks like they pushed all over to the outside, pretty much here. Where you going? Man, you gotta stay here with all of us. Don't go nowhere. Like I said, I'm not worried about it. I'm just trying to get a fair weight. I mean, you know, I don't want to throw 7 ounces of castings in here and tell y'all I just got a ton of worms. So, you hear him, don't you? Can you? Mommy's home. Alright, hold tight. So that's 4.85. So that gives us what is that? 4.35. So we put about 3 ounces in there, so we've got 1.35 more ounces than what we started with in roughly what, 3 months? That's not bad. Ton of babies, ton of cocoons. Alright, so what do we have? We had 4.35 ounces of worms. This is 6 quarts of pre-screened, pre-composted bedding, basically, and 6 quarts of bedding to 1 quart of water, and I just mix it up. And this bedding is the I've got a video somewhere on there about making the bedding. It's just the compost from the yard waste and from the leaf compost mulch pile, some leaves shredded up through the sifter. I've got a 1/4-inch sifter. I use it to sift my bedding in the beginning, and then it makes this process of me going through with it like that makes it a whole lot easier. But and some coffee grounds thrown in there, some old moldy coffee grounds to help get that stuff kicked off in here too. And there's some castings thrown in the bedding, and then the bedding's pretty much dampened and kept damp. And then when I throw it in here, I just add another quart of water to it and mix it up and get it nice and wet. And it's not too wet. Like I said, if you push back, you know, there's not any water standing in any of these grooves or anything. You don't want water standing. You want wet, but you don't want a swamp. So anyway, but yeah, there we go. that's a whole tray full of bedding. Throw back in here, and I use this 28-quart deal here. I throw 6 quarts in it, and I will add some more bedding along the way if it needs it. And that's about it right there. Time for the babies to go home. There we go. So now it's just turn them loose, let them go, and they'll go back down in there, and we'll give them a feed. Now I don't feed when I first set them. I give them a couple of days minimum of acclimation. Just let them get situated. As long as they're wet, they got something to eat. Remember, bedding's food, so they got food. So yeah, they're not gonna starve. And so yeah, just let them go down and get homely. And then I usually come back in. It depends. I think I got a set over here that we did the other day, and I have not fed them yet, and they'll still be just fine. So anyway, yeah, we may feed them. I've got a bin here I think needs to be fed, and the ones we reset the other night, they could be fed. So yeah, we may drag this thing on out a little bit more. So anyway, but yeah, see, they're good. Give them a little rub, they'll kind of help them out a little bit. Help them get situated. Spread them out just a skosh. But if you ever notice when you make a bin like this, they love the corners and the outside edges, which is cool because I feed the middle. Try to keep the, if anything jacks up, I put something stupid in there, or something they don't like, or something that ain't ready, or something that wants to heat up. Like them corn husks that I just fed. Them corn husks are green, and they may heat up. But if they do, then the worms have got this whole entire area around here to evacuate to and wait and let that stuff get right and come back to it later at a later date. So, but yeah, anyway. All right, that's that. Let's get this thing capped off here, and get out of here. Let me see. I don't know where we stopped at. Does anybody know where we stopped at? Yeah. All right, this is me. I'm numbering the bins. I got a new system going on over here. So anyway, I'm trying a new system. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. I'm just giving each bin its designated number, and the information I need for it will be in a book over here, and then that way I don't have to keep pulling off pieces of tape and rewriting stuff and keeping up with dates and all that good stuff. That's bin number 8. All right, so let's drag this puppy over here. They could definitely use some food. And let's give them something to eat. Feed the babies. See, that's what I mean about the pre-composted food or whatever. That's got mold in it, funkiness. It's right. So we'll just throw some of that in there. Call that a feeding. and cover it up. Yeah. There we go. That's the gist of it. This being here and these go there. I got stacks of beans everywhere. Let's see what's in here. Feels like a fresh bean. You can tell by the weight how old the bean is. Yeah. I just keep the food in a food grade 5-gallon bucket with a lid on it. And it only gets funky when you open it up, and then, you know, use it, lid back on it, you're done. So, and that food's ready. See, they can go over there and they can commence to eating on it now. So, that's the only upside to that. Yeah, these are all the reset bins. So, I know they don't have any food in them. So, houseflies gonna drive me crazy. Oh, so listen, I got to apologize for one thing. This camera loves to do that, and I don't know why, and I've tried to fix it. I've been through it. I've done to every setting. I've watched 10 YouTube videos on the model of the phone and everything to try to get the autofocus or whatever that jerking is going on with it to cut off. But guess what? No luck. So, anyway, I guess one day when we become some big YouTube influencer, I'll buy me another thing. I use this one because it's got the video editor I downloaded onto it. It's just like the one on my other phone. And the ones I use for my kayaking, I can't watch any of those. You just reach over and turn them on. They're in these watertight boxes. And so you can't really see. I can look at the back of the screen here and see what's going on with this thing, you know. And it's nice to have that. So, we'll just have to deal with what we got, I guess. I usually throw in a little bit of bedding to soak that up, but this is running a little bit drier than I usually run it. And so I'm just going to let that happen for now. There we go. That's how you feed them. That's how you keep them fat and happy. And so the system I got is just bins stacked up, okay? Now they may be randomly stacked up everywhere in the room, but I just stack them. And the group that I'm stacking now, they've been fed. So I know the group on the end of the table down here has been fed. So I don't have to worry about figuring out who's been fed and who hasn't, but I'm starting a little ledger over here to keep up with kind of what's going on around here best I can. Now that one's wet, see? Each bin's different. Now, somebody did make the comment, hey, you know what? If you make one big bin, you don't have the different little ecosystems, and I agree with that 100%. I do agree with that. But I just do it like this. It's very easy to reset. I'm gonna build a CFT eventually, I guess. I just haven't had time. I know I'm gonna build this table first. I know that's probably gonna happen first, but at some point in time, I'd like to build me a CFT. I could throw one together in a weekend, probably. Put a little bedding in there. It ain't gonna hurt it none. Ain't gonna hurt it one bit. Give it a little bedding. Bedding's your friend. Alright, there we go with that. Alright, that's all the fresh ones. The reset ones fed. And those over there have been fed. So yeah, we'll call that a complete video, I reckon. If you want to take a look here at, oh, let's see, get this up here. That's our finished, well, pretty much finished castings, but that's our cocoons, babies, everything. 5 gallon bucket. So we're gonna take this and dump it into our big boy down here in the floor, and let all these cocoons and babies grow out and get bigger, and we'll process that bin about every week or so. It's a pretty quick method because I let that stuff get a little drier. I mean, I still keep it wet, but it just ain't this wet. And I just go through and spin it up, and once they get to that size, they'll show themselves anyway. And you know, if you do something like that, you'll get the worm if it's there. So instead of something like that that's moving that I can barely see, yeah. And I'll pick it up and I'll take it out and I'll put it in a bin, and I'll take it and I'll throw it over in probably in the bathtub. Bin's usually where they go. So yeah, that's the gist. We're not splitting too many bins out, so I may pull some of these hatchlings out that have gotten to sub-adults and reset these 4, 5, 6. Yeah, these 6 other new bins that I've got, and the breeders. And so we'll continue on with that, I guess. So anyway, if you hadn't already, hit the subscribe button, give us a like, throw us a comment. And I appreciate you coming, checking me out. And we'll sling another one down probably Friday night this weekend or something. If I don't, have a good weekend. I appreciate you coming, hanging out with me. And drop us a comment. Let me know what you're doing, what you think, what you want to see, what you want to do. And we'll go from there. I think we got a couple more days. and I think 8 to 9 days is what Gardner would bar chucking. I think that's he said 8 to 9 days, and then vermicompost learn by doing. Patrick, I think's his name. He said something about 12 days, and I'm somewhere in there with him. I'm in there between 10 and 14, probably 12, something like that, to check on the head of cabbage in the bathtub bin check in. And we'll do a natural versus cardboard check in on these two bins. I have been letting them just sit. I ain't bothering them. Every time I try to feed them, they don't want to eat. So anyway, I think I did feed the natural side, but I didn't feed the cardboard side last time, I believe. And so anyway, we'll do a check-in on it this weekend too. And I guess we'll start the process on the bathtub. We'll fold one side back and kick it around a little bit and see what's going on with it, see how much food's left in that side. We won't feed it anymore on that side. And we'll start letting it dry out. And I don't know, we may take a light method over there, start skimming the top half off of it, and pulling out what we can. So anyway, I appreciate you coming, checking me out. Welcome to everybody that's new. Big hello to the rest of the fam that's already here. We'll see you on the next one.